I don't care what you do as long as we shake 'em.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if it's your first time. This is a wrap-up of May, which is pretty much a wrap-up of the Horror Mayhem month. So I read horror all the way through the month, and I did it slightly differently to how I normally do my reading and my videos. So I concentrated mostly on short stories, and I got a list of what I've read. So I read a lot, but there are lots of small things. And I did these vlogs. So I did 4 Horror Mayhem vlogs. So if you saw them, thanks for watching them. The vlogs were a chance to kind of just go over what I was doing at the time, because I knew that I'd have something to say each vlog, because I was reading short stories. So I never do weekly wrap-ups because I don't read quick enough to read 3 books in a week or something. So there's no point in doing a weekly wrap-up. But I enjoyed doing the vlogs. I really enjoyed Horror Mayhem, and I haven't quite made a decision yet, but I might actually do a similar kind of vlog, short story concentration thing in October, because that's obviously spooky month. So that might be quite cool to do that, because I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. So massive shout out to Scott and Becky, who created Horror Mayhem, and all the other co-hosts, because we had an interesting Voxer chat going on as well, and I've loved watching other people's videos on it. So it was a really successful month from that point of view. And normally with the monthly wrap-ups, I'll talk about what I've done on the channel, and then I'll talk about my reading, but I'm switching it a little bit today because of the Horror Mayhem aspect of it, and because I had such a different approach to reading this month. So let's get the bingo card out. So let's do our final, where is it? Our final tally. So I've got 3 more to add to this. So the other 2 stories I've read that I've not mentioned on the horror vlogs, I took this book to the festival with me. I don't know if you see that, to the festival with me. And this has got some awesome things in it, but it's got a story by T.E.D. Klein, and the story is called The Events at Porra Farm. The Events at Porra Farm. And basically, it's kind of, it's done in a diary form. It's a really good story. I really liked it a lot. And T.D. Klein ended up being an editor for the Twilight Zone magazine. Fun fact. But I really enjoyed the story. And it does feature killer animals. So I'm going to scrub out killer animals, because basically this entity infects the cats and all sorts of things, and the person that's narrating the story is kind of at threat of being possessed by this entity as well. So that was really good. So that was a nice addition. And the last thing I read, which I wanted to try and get in the Daphne du Maurier story as well, but I haven't managed to do it. And I'm going to mention in a minute the other thing that I've started, so I need to finish that before I get on with the June stuff. The other thing was from this awesome collection, Book of Horrors, and this was by the guy that wrote Let the Right One In. So that is John Avid Lindvist. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. I need to look it up. And this was called The Music of Bengt Carlson, Murderer. It was really, really good. So it's the first thing I've read by him. So I've got Let the Right One In. There, in fact, to read. And I want to read this before October, because I'd love to be able to talk about it. So it's on my TBR for the next few months. Hopefully get that in August, September or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was a really, really good story. And it was all about musical notes bringing back the spirit of a murderer and these kids that he'd murdered. And some of it was really graphic and horrible. It was quite nasty in places. And it did feature, because they do spoilers, they do eat his eyes. Evil Children. So Evil Children has been ticked off. And what was the other one? Oh, Possession, of course. Yeah, Possession is good for that other story. So Possession's been ticked off as well. So my tally, I wanted to get to 20 if I could. I think I have. Because there's tons of prompts. I mean, we went mad when we came up with the prompts for Horror Mayhem. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. We got to 20. So that's quite a lot. That's a lot ticked off. So yeah, I'll go over what I've read. So this is a list of what I've read. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 short stories. 2 novels. A poem. And 2 non-fiction books. So, William Wilson by Edgar Allan Poe. That's how I started it. Then Kim Newman, the original Dr. Shade. Then 4 Neil Gaiman things, which were 3 short stories and a poem, which were called Down to the Sunless Sea, The Vampire Sistina, Snow Glass Apples, and Feeders and Eaters. So they're all Neil Gaiman stuff, because he's a local author. And then I finished that local bit with Arthur Conan Doyle's Selecting a Ghost, which was really good. Then I started Ramsey Campbell's novel Secret Story. His novel Secret Story, which I read it took me about 10 days to read it. Because I was reading short stories as well. So that was good. It wasn't brilliant, but it was good. Clive Barker, Sex, Death and Starshine. J.G. Ballard's Garden of Time I read in the middle. That was for a specific reason, which you can see on the vlog. Then I read an N.K. Jemisin story, which was really good, which was called Reckless Eyeballing. That was in the Jordan Peele collection. Then I read Clive Barker's Midnight Meat Train from Books of Blood. That was gory. It was good though. Was it 3 novels? 3 novels I read, because I read Sven Holm's Termouche as well, which is essentially science fiction, but it's got horror elements to it. And then George Langeland's short story of The Fly that the films were based on. That was really good. And then started reading Scourging the Angel, which is the non-fiction book on Black Death. So it's part of the Historathon event. So I'm reading about the Black Death this month, and the Crusades as well. I'm going to start the book on the Crusades soon as well. And then I read Richard Matheson's Dance of the Dead, which was brilliant. And then Ray Bradbury's story, The Foghorn, which was what The Beast from 30,000 Fathoms was based on, and that was brilliant as well. Then I read Edgar Allan Poe's story, The Lighthouse, which was finished by Robert Bloch, which I think is interesting. That was really good. Then I read The Music in the Horror Film non-fiction book about horror film scores. And then Rosemary's Baby, the novel by Ira Levin, Rosemary's Baby, which was really good. And then I read the Yellow... this was an audiobook, actually. I listened to The Yellow Wallpaper. I didn't read it. I listened to The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, which was really good. And then to finish off, as I said, read those 2 stories that I mentioned earlier. So there we are. So a really successful month and really a different approach. And this is what I've put on the channel this month. So there's the 10 books I would love to save from a fire. Sorry, the 10 books I would save from a fire. I'd love to save from a fire. 10 books I would save from a fire. So that was inspired by another booktuber. So you can see me with my fireman helmet on in the thumbnail. That was the first thing I put up in the month. Then the first actual vote for the Vote for the King project. So the rest of my Stephen King books I'm going to be reading through your voting system. So I've actually started The Long Walk. So that was what I was going to mention earlier. So I need to finish that before I start the June stuff. But that's starting really well. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, the first book in the Vote for the King was The Long Walk. So thanks for voting for that. Then there's the Horror Mayhem vlogs. I put out my 5th Twilight Zone analysis video, So that part 5 of the Twilight Zone deep dive. So I enjoyed putting that out. That was cool. Then I put up the Summer of Sci-Fi. So that was a real concentration on some of the books I'm going to be reading in the summer, which is going to be return to my first love, which is science fiction. I love science fiction. So you've seen it all over my channel. I don't ever want to just do science fiction because I find it interesting exploring other things and I like talking about other things. But I do love science fiction. And then I did a video on the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the film. I just saw the film, so I did a video on it. And in that, I do talk about the other films as well. So if you're interested in any of the Planet of the Apes films, check that video out. Then I did a video that was called Mail a Long Time Coming. And basically, I had the opportunity to buy a book I'd wanted to buy for a long time, which was Richard Matheson's collection, Shock, because it was cheaper than I'd seen it for a long time. And I thought, I'm just going to get it. So that was really nice seeing that. So that's a really important part of my Richard Matheson collection. I've said before that there's not a lot of Richard Matheson I haven't got now. So that was really cool. And I did a video called The Excitement from Ideas. And it was because I'm writing a lot at the moment and I'm really excited about a particular idea I got, which has made me feel a lot better about the next collection because the tone's going to be, it's going to shift the tone of the whole collection, which is good. Because I wasn't happy with how dark the collection was becoming. So this is a lot lighter, so it'll lighten the book as a whole, which is good. So I was really excited about the idea, so I did a video about the excitement of ideas and trying to encourage people to be creative if that's in their blood and they're just a bit scared of doing it. So that was the excitement from ideas. Then I did the announcement for Book Trek. So that's in June, July and August. It's a summer event, Summer of the Wrath of Trek or something. Then I did a video which was very grateful video I did because I had a box of books sent to me by Dave Brzezinski. So thank you, Dave, for the gift again. So that was a really nice video. Then I did a video on my Mad Magazine paperback. So I've got 59 of those in one box and I thought it'd be nice to go through them. It was really nice looking through them again, actually. So that was cool. And I found out that there's a couple that are like deteriorated a little bit. So I might have to replace those, don't know. But yeah, that was cool, celebrating Mad Magazine. Then I did the announcement for June on the Range, which starts now. Then I did a video on Adrian Tchaikovsky, which was really nice doing that. So I really like Adrian Tchaikovsky a lot. And I've got a mission to try and read everything, well, not everything I've got by him, because I've got loads by him, but all the science fiction stuff I've got by him before the end of the year. That's my plan. We'll see. And then I did a video on Mad Max because I've just saw Furiosa, loved it. It's a shame it's not doing so well at the box office, although apparently it is doing well, but it costs so much money that it's got to do really well to make the money back. So we'll see. But that's a really good, and I do talk about the other films in that video as well. So again, if you're interested in the Mad Max franchise, then check out that video. And then I finished off the month with a book haul because of my birthday on the 28th and some nice finds I got. I did that. So that was a really recent thing I put up. So that was May. Really good month for BookTube. Some really cool live streams as well. So if you've been watching the live streams, thank you so much for popping in. And Is This Thing On is still happening. We did our 10th one this month. So we've got another one next week. And I did my birthday live stream as well. But yeah, it was really cool. So I've got loads of stuff lined up for the next few months. Reading. Loads more long term. Loads to read before the end of the month. And yeah, please comment below about any of that. If there's any particular video you liked, or if you're looking forward to any event coming up, or if there was a particular story that you relate to that I read, and maybe you've read it or you were keen to read it, or any of the books. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Stay curious, everybody.
Picture of what it's like to be you.